Rudy Rochman, an IDF paratrooper who left the United States to return to Israel to fight on the front lines. He joins us now. Give us, Rudy, your gut reaction to what happened last night.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a little over 6 months since October 7th. My unit was called back into war. We fought in Kfar Aza. A little over 2 months since we got out of Gaza, where we fought in Khan Yunis. And less than 24 hours ago, when I was driving from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem and saw many drones and missiles exploding above our heads. It's not new to us that we're under attack, but we need to learn the lesson from what we learned on October 7th, that when you have an army that has the capability and the intention to attack your people, we need to deal with the problems before they deal with us. Israelis do not have fear. Most of us are living our day-to-day lives. We're used to being attacked. And this is a message to all the Jews in the world out there that are afraid in these moments not to be afraid. And we need to start defending ourselves and to take care of our problems, like I said, before they start taking care of us.
So in terms of a reaction from your government, your military, what would you like to see directed toward Iran?
Well, I wouldn't like to see people attacked. This is not a war between the Iranian people and the Jewish people. The Persian people historically had great relations with the Jews. And also before the fall of the Shah, the Iranian people had good relations with our people. And I hope that one day we'll see a united Middle East where Iran and Israel can see that reality as well again. I'd like to see a removal of the regime that has taken over the Iranian people and that has caused threats and deaths all throughout the region, a removal of Hezbollah, a removal of Hamas. We need to attack the problem at its source and not just deal with its symptoms. Obviously, war is going to lead to people dying on both sides. If there's a war, I'm going to fight with my friends, with my unit on the front lines of that war, which is why what I try to do every single day is to prevent us from getting into the war. But in order to prevent it, we need to go to the source and to remove those who are responsible for creating deaths on both sides.
It's been more than 6 months now since those Hamas terrorists streamed across the border into Israel and killed more than 1,000 of your people, kidnapped others. There is an awful lot of criticism of Israel in the world right now based on the destruction in Gaza. How do you answer that criticism?
I served in Gaza and I could only speak about what I see. But what we see from all these enemy nations against Israel, whether it's Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, they attack civilians. They target civilians. Those drones and those missiles that shot onto Israel yesterday were all targeted towards civilians. Hamas, when they attacked on October 7th, they killed civilians. When they're shooting rockets, they're shooting at civilians. Hezbollah, when they're shooting rockets from the north, they're shooting at civilians. When Israel is fighting back at Hamas or at Hezbollah, it is only striking military sites. Now, of course, their tactics, because they know that they cannot win a physical war, is to place their civilians amongst their militants in order to increase not only the amount of Israeli civilians that are killed, but the amount of Palestinians that are killed, in order to use their deaths as political ammunition and to convince the world that Israel is wrong. What I have seen is that Israel has done everything that it can to prevent civilian casualties. Are there civilians that have died? Of course. Is that horrible? Of course it is. But we can't just talk about what is happening. We have to talk about why it is happening. Why it is happening? Because Hamas has attacked Israel and is using its civilians as human shields. A lot of people are triggered by this term, but it is the reality of what's happening. I personally saw drones that were looking at Hamas terrorists going from one tunnel to a school, taking children next to them in order to prevent them from being killed, or if they were to be killed, then children would die next to them. Why do they do this? In order to increase the amount of civilians' deaths, to sell this image to the world, and to play on their feelings, to play on their compassion that the world has for human lives. We all care about human lives. We all do not want to see deaths. But if we want to deal with the problem, we have to go to its source.
Rudy Rochman, an IDF paratrooper in Israel right now. Rudy, thank you.
Thank you.